Let's go ahead and highlight that, put it in bold, put flashing neon lights around that. Do not do aerials on a social dance floor.
Yeah. And that's how it was described back in the 1920s and 30s too.
Watching videos on YouTube, which we know is dangerous, I see, the lifts and the tricks and the dips and someone swinging around somebody else. Again, obviously you would prep with your partner. Okay, these are the tricks and these are the lifts that we are capable of doing in our arsenal. Is there something where you're looking for a specific musical cue in order to do a particular pattern, or is that one of those audibles where you're like, okay, after this we're gonna do the thing?
Yeah. Okay. So you want to get into how sausage is made?
Yeah.
In Lindy Hop. So there are a few different ways that people can kind of cue aerials or air steps. Typically in a competition. So when you're watching a YouTube video and people are doing their spotlights, I'd say the two most common are that there are going to be choreographed sections. So 16/8 of choreography. The thing with jazz music is that it's very structured. So even if you've never heard a song before, most of the time there's going to be the beginning of the phrase and some sort of ending of that phrase, either in 4/8 or 8/8. If it's a blues structure, it might be 6/8. And so you'll know that there's going to be some sort of conclusion to that musical sentence after 8/8. So then you'll say, okay, well, we're going to choreograph this little section and we're going to put an aerial at the 8th 8. And that aerial is going to take 8 counts. So and then after the aerial, you'll move on to the next section. So if you're dancing 16/8, maybe you'll do an aerial on the 8th 8, and then you'll continue dancing and then do another aerial on the 16th 8. That's one way to do it. And I think that's a little bit more common when you have that kind of spotlight thing and you know what the musical structure is going to be like, so you can choreograph that beforehand. Not everyone does that. A lot of folks will be able to kind of have a movement before the aerial that feels maybe slightly different than the aerial itself. They may potentially tell their partner or kind of give them a look to say that there is going to be this specific aerial coming up. And I think also there is going to be some sort of connection with the music, because most folks are not going to just do an aerial kind of in the middle of a phrase where it doesn't really fit, doesn't have that huge bang that's going to match the aerial. So that's another way that some folks will kind of know that an aerial is coming up. It's not a social thing. You won't see aerials on the social dance floor, and it's actually looked down upon because that's how people get hurt.
Let's go ahead and highlight that, put it in bold, put flashing neon lights around that. Do not do aerials on a social dance floor.
Yeah. And that's how it was described back in the 1920s and 30s too. Like aerials, Frankie Manning is kind of, we call him like the ambassador of Lindy Hop. He was the inventor of the air step. And when it became more popular, even back then, that was something that was really just for performances or jam circles, that sort of thing too. So it wasn't ever really done as a social dance move.
Good to know. No, because I have definitely unfortunately been part of this. And I know that it is prevalent within the ballroom community that if you are on a mixed social floor and there are Lindy dancers, most ballroom people kind of go, ugh, because at least once in our history, we've been kicked in the face or caught an elbow or something from presumably novice beginner dancers that did not know better, that were like, yes, this is a swing song. Let me see if I can toss my girl over her head. It's like, no, not here, not now.
I apologize on behalf of the Lindy community for that ever happening to anyone. That's something that I feel like a lot of folks come into swing dancing like that's their gateway drug. They're like, oh, I want to be able to throw my partner in the air, so I'm going to learn swing dancing. But really, that's like less than 1% of what swing dancing is. And you really don't do it ever unless you're in a performance team or if you've got a regular partner and you're doing a jam circle somewhere. So it's not a real thing in social dancing.
It's a good thing to know, and it's a good thing for our listeners to be reassured that it is not reflective of the larger community if you've had that experience. So that's good.